Emmerdale star Dominic Brunt has revealed that Paddy Dingle will be consumed by guilt following the breakdown of his relationship with his father, Bear Wolf. The pair have squabbled over the past few weeks as their bond became strained, with Paddy throwing his father out as they reached breaking point. Bear opted to leave the village, saying that he had a friend in Ireland. It didn't exactly go to plan, however, with his friend explaining that he couldn't let him stay. This has left Bear with nowhere to go, with upcoming scenes depicting him walking alone in the countryside. Ahead of Bear's impending return, Brunt shared that his own character will harbor guilt over his part in the falling out, explaining, "Paddy has been aiming his frustrations, doubts and depression in the wrong direction, in the direction of his dad. The frustrating thing for Paddy is he's experienced what Bear is going through, but he doesn't see it in Bear. He blames Bear for his little hiccup without seeing it. He quite selfishly misdirected his energies towards him. When he should actually realize what's happening with Bear, he goes, 'Oh, he'll be fine. He won't be thinking of me. He'll be in Ireland having a whale of a time drinking with his mates.' That is the final thought he gives him. He dismisses him. It's awful, really. I'm looking forward to the future, when Paddy recants his thoughts towards his father, after he finds out what's actually happening. How he abandoned him and could have changed the course of Bear's immediate future, if he just thought of anybody but himself." Brunt, who has portrayed Paddy on the ITV soap since 1997, praised the fascinating storyline for interrogating Paddy's own complicity in the breakdown of the relationship, with the actor sharing that layers would be unpeeled over the coming weeks. "It's great. I love it as a storyline," he said. "It's uncomfortable as an actor because you don't want to be the baddie in that, but it's a fascinating misstep that I think is great. Paddy is not the goody that he thinks he is, but from no real fault of his own. He's being selfish and going, 'Well, I did this, and I went through this, and I survived this, and I can help people,' but not actually seeing it right at the side of him. It's really messy, and I like the fact that they've tangled this knot further and put layers on it. You think, in about 3 months' time, that's all gonna have to be dealt with. I love the small dramas between 2 or 3 people more than any explosion or helicopter crash. I think with all those sort of stunts, it's what happens afterwards that really intrigues me." While Paddy will soon be reunited with his estranged father, the pivotal moment was in part caused by his run-in with newcomer, Celia Daniels. The no-nonsense farmer made an immediate impression in the village, with one of her dogs biting Paddy. This has led to the veterinary surgeon developing a fear of the animal, with Brunt explaining, "I think it's a dormant thing that he's going to have to keep an eye on for the rest of his life. The depression, I think it was a biological thing for him. It wasn't really anything that happened. Obviously, he'd gone through some really rough things in his life, but I think it sent him sideways. He couldn't deal with it, or have a rational thought about it, but this dog attack just sends him straight back to where he was. He's already got a little phobia about horses, which as a vet isn't the greatest. But then for the dog thing, which he thinks, or he worries about, it being permanent. He wonders if it's the end of his career as well, so it does plunge him to the bottom briefly." Dominic Brunt teases guilt-ridden storyline as Paddy and Bear's bond breaks down. In upcoming Emmerdale episodes, Dominic Brunt's long-running character Paddy Dingle is about to be faced with some heavy emotional consequences. The much-loved vet will soon find himself consumed by guilt over the collapse of his relationship with his father, Bear Wolf. This heartbreaking twist adds yet another emotional layer to Paddy's ongoing struggles, and Brunt has teased that the story is far from over. Paddy and Bear's relationship has always been complex, but recent tensions have boiled over. Weeks of simmering resentment finally erupted into full-blown conflict, resulting in Paddy throwing his father out of the house. What followed was a painful decision by Bear to leave the village entirely, claiming he had a friend in Ireland who might take him in. But in true soap style, Bear's attempt at a fresh start quickly unraveled. His friend couldn't offer him a place to stay, leaving Bear stranded and without a roof over his head. Upcoming episodes will paint a haunting picture of Bear wandering alone through the countryside, a man both physically and emotionally displaced. And as Bear trudges through uncertainty, his son is left behind grappling with a different kind of burden, guilt. Paddy's misplaced emotions, a brewing storm. In a candid behind-the-scenes revelation, Dominic Brunt explained just how deep Paddy's misjudgment runs. He revealed that Paddy, who has battled his own demons with depression and self-worth in the past, failed to recognize those same struggles in his father. Paddy has been aiming his frustrations, doubts and depression in the wrong direction, at his dad, Brunt shared. The frustrating thing is, Paddy knows this kind of pain. He's experienced it, but he still can't see it in Bear. Instead, he selfishly blames Bear for what he perceives as a minor hiccup, without understanding the full weight of what Bear is going through. The consequences of Paddy's blindness are now playing out in full force. Rather than seeing Bear as a man in pain, Paddy dismissed him. Believing Bear was off enjoying himself in Ireland with old mates, Paddy let himself believe his father would be fine. That assumption will now come back to haunt him. It's awful, really, Brunt admitted. He tells himself, he'll be fine. He's probably drinking and laughing with friends. That's the last thought he gives him. He completely dismisses Bear, and now he has to live with that. A character at a crossroads. This storyline marks a significant shift for Paddy, who has long been seen as one of the soap's kind-hearted stalwarts. Brunt, who has played the beloved vet since 1997, sees this arc as a powerful evolution. What I love about this storyline is how it explores Paddy's flaws, Brunt said. He's not the good guy he thinks he is, not entirely. And not because he's evil or cruel, but because he's selfish. He's saying, well, I went through this, and I made it out the other side, so I can help people. But he's completely missing what's happening right beside him. This emotional blind spot isn't just tragic, it's human. And Brunt welcomes the messy emotional territory that the writers have carved out. They've tangled the knot even more, and that's what makes it great, he said. I love small, intimate dramas between just a few people far more than the big explosions or helicopter crashes. Those moments are fine, but it's what comes after, how people live with the fallout, that really grips me. Brunt added that there are layers to the story that will continue to unfold over the coming weeks, suggesting a long-term arc of emotional reckoning. In about 3 months' time, everything that's happened now will need to be dealt with. The consequences don't just vanish. The catalyst nobody saw coming. Interestingly, the emotional chain reaction that's unfolding in Paddy's life was sparked in part by someone unexpected, newcomer Celia Daniels. A no-nonsense farmer with a strong presence, Celia made a memorable entrance into the village, and not in a good way for Paddy. One of her dogs bit him, triggering a deeply rooted psychological spiral. Though the attack may seem minor, for Paddy it was anything but. Brunt explained that the incident rekindled deep-set fears and anxieties, unearthing trauma that had been lying dormant since Paddy's previous struggles with depression. I think it was biological, Brunt said, reflecting on Paddy's mental health battle. It wasn't one single thing that triggered it. Yes, he's had rough patches in life, very rough ones, but the depression wasn't a reaction. It was something internal, and this dog bite just sent him spinning back into that dark place. As a vet, the irony of being afraid of animals isn't lost on Paddy, or Brunt. He already has a phobia about horses, which is far from ideal for someone in his profession. But now he's terrified that this fear of dogs might be permanent. He starts to question whether he can even do his job anymore. It absolutely plunges him to the bottom. Paddy Dingle. A man on the edge. For fans who have watched Paddy over the years, this descent is difficult to watch, but it's also one of the most authentic and raw portrayals of mental health the soap has tackled. This isn't about a single dramatic event. It's about a man quietly crumbling under the weight of emotion he doesn't know how to process. This current storyline reinforces how Emmerdale excels in depicting the subtle, internal conflicts that simmer beneath the surface. While many soaps rely on big, flashy moments to carry drama, Emmerdale has consistently found power in restraint, and in real, human emotions. Dominic Brunt echoed this, explaining that these understated arcs resonate more deeply with him, both as an actor and as a viewer. I love the emotional mess, he said. That tangled up, complicated drama that comes from two people trying and failing to understand each other. You don't need a building to fall down to break someone's heart. Sometimes it's just a sentence. Or silence. Or the fact that you didn't call. The road to redemption. While the fallout between Paddy and Bear has left emotional wreckage in its wake, Brunt hinted that there is still a road to redemption ahead. There's a future for them, but it's not going to be easy, he said. Paddy's going to have to reckon with the fact that he abandoned his father. That he could have changed Bear's immediate future if he'd only thought of someone other than himself. And while Bear's return to the village is imminent, it won't be a joyful reunion. There will be questions, pain, and possibly even more conflict before anything resembling healing can begin. But that's what makes the story so rich. I think audiences will see a different side of Paddy, Brunt concluded. One that's flawed, selfish, scared, but ultimately human. And hopefully, they'll see how even someone who means well can get it so wrong. Conclusion. A quiet storm brewing in Emmerdale. As Emmerdale continues to explore the emotional aftermath of Paddy's choices, fans are in for a gripping, slow-burning storyline that places character above chaos. Dominic Brunt's sensitive and honest portrayal of Paddy Dingle's inner turmoil promises to shed light on difficult topics like guilt, mental health, and the pain of pushing away those we love most. With Bear's lonely journey echoing in the background, and Paddy left to confront the damage he's done, this storyline is set to become one of Emmerdale's most powerful chapters yet. Keep watching, because when the dust settles, who Paddy chooses to be may matter more than anything he's ever done.